Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever this video finds you, welcome to Raw Dogs Radio. So, I really don't even know where to begin this. I mean, we're in such a precarious situation as Browns fans. It's like where do you start? Where do you start? And the way I see it, I mean, the first place that you really have to start is the Deshaun Watson situation. Now, Sport Track, I don't know if you can really see it here, but he's saying here, this is his Twitter account, he's saying, or the X account, whatever you want to call it, for the Just Cut Deshaun Watson Now crowd, the 2024 dead cap space will be $119.9 million. That's $93 million cash, and a dead cap next year of $80 million. Now he's saying for those who cut Deshaun Watson after 2024, your 2025 dead cap space will be $118.9 million with $92 million cash, and in 2026 the dead cap will be $53.8 million. And for the cut Deshaun Watson after 2025 crowd, which is kind of funny because his contract is up after 2025. In 2026, the dead cap space will be $72.9, $46 million cash. And in 2027, it'll be $26.9 million. Now, I would say the best way to handle this Deshaun Watson situation, because either way, he can't come back. You're done. Let's just be honest. He's done. You can't bring him back next year. And you're going to incur a loss either way. So what I would do if I was Andrew Berry, and I know I'm not, but in order to minimize all of this dead cap space damage, especially in the first year, what you do is you extend him. You extend his contract another 3 years. You actually pull him into the office and you talk to him man to man. Be like, hey, look, it's not that we don't want you here. It's just that you're done here. You know it. You know it. It's over. Like, we tried something. It didn't work out. We failed. We're going to give you a chance to move on. We're going to give you your money, but we're going to extend you another 3 years so that way we can minimize the damage, the financial damage it'll do to the team in the long run. We're going to try to mitigate it. So we're going to extend your contract, cut you, and therefore all of this dead cap space that we'll incur will not break the team. We'll still have something to work with. All right. We'll still have something to work with. Now, who is this here? This is what is that? Pro Football Network. Now, what they're saying is that if Cleveland cuts Watson this offseason, they will still have a 2025 dead cap hit, $118.9 million. Blase. Hold on. Sorry. Okay. Hold on a second. All right. The guy that does my thumbnails. All right. He said, Jason Fitzgerald of Over the Cap noted, after Watson tore his Achilles, the Browns insured up to $13.9 million of Watson's 2024 compensation. Nearly all of his 2025 earnings are insured, so Cleveland could see significant salary cap savings if Watson can't play next season. And more than likely, he won't be able to because it takes more than a year to come back from an Achilles tear. But if Watson can play next year, the Browns will have a tough decision to make. Do they start Watson and hope he improves drastically, which seems very unlikely coming off of a ruptured Achilles? Do they bench him despite his enormous salary, or do they cut Watson and take the enormous cap hit? Jesus, Christopher. It must be oh God. Anyway, to me, that's irrelevant. What is relevant is dealing with the cap and the team moving forward. Now, you're going to have, either way, you're going to have some tough decisions to make because we're already going to reportedly be 30 million over the cap. All right. So when you look at the free agent situation that we're in, Jedrick Wills, you can kiss him goodbye. Because I want you to understand, you have to remake this team. You're going to have a makeover on this team in 3 key areas. Your offensive line, unfortunately, your running back room, your linebacking core, and your secondary. And also possibly, your defensive line. Now, this is who you're going to lose. All right. This is who you're going to lose flat out. More than likely, if you didn't sign anybody, Jedrick Wills. And of course, we all know that we can kiss him goodbye. Matter of fact, let's see. We'll do salary. Yeah. Since he's making 4.9 million. Jameis Winston, as much as we like to keep him, if we don't sign him, he's gone. Nick Harris, the center. All right, who didn't do anything this year. That whole signing him and trying to recapture the magic that he had last year playing fullback, that's gone. We haven't seen any of that. Nick Chubb. And this is a stickler here. Because, yes, Nick Chubb is a free agent at the end of the year. Now, the situation with Nick Chubb is it's very dicey because we all love Nick Chubb. We all love Nick Chubb. He's 28 years old. He'll be 29. All right, next at the start of the season, he'll be 29 years old. He's coming off an Achilles tear. Of course, he hasn't looked like himself this year because it's going to take a while for those ligaments to loosen up and get used to the movements and everything and whatnot. And he'll be going on 29 years old. That is very, very old for a running back. That's very old for a running back. And you can talk about the offensive line not blocking well and everything, and that's something that we're going to get into. But I really don't think, in all honesty, in a Nick Chubb situation, if you bring him back, he will not be your starter, unfortunately. He's going to have to play the Kareem Hunt role if you bring him back. If he even comes back. I personally, unfortunately, I would say goodbye to Nick Chubb. Or I would at least let him test free agency. I would definitely let Nick Chubb test free agency and see what the market bears. And if there aren't any takers, or we'll talk to him. Okay, let's be honest. I'll sit down and talk to him. Be like, hey, look, you test free agency. If anybody makes you an offer, give us the right of first refusal. Give us the right of first refusal. Let us match it. And if we don't match it, then we just don't match it. But at least give us the opportunity to match it to see if we can afford to bring you back. That's the conversation I would have with Nick Chubb. because probably by the time he really gets back into the groove of things, he'll probably be 30. And we all know a 30-year-old power back coming off of two dramatic knee injuries in his career. Yeah. Elijah Moore can walk. I'd let him walk. Who is this? Naheem Miller-Hines, another running back. He's 28. He can walk. Jordan Akins, he's 32. He can walk. Maurice Hurst, he'll be 30. He's 29 right now. He can walk. Devin Bush is 26. Yeah, I let him walk. I haven't really seen him do anything. Michael Dunn, who's a tackle, he can walk. Rodney McLeod, who's 34, he's ready to retire. He's gone. Hakeem Adeniji, a guard. I mean, who is this guy? He can walk. Deontay Foreman, he's 28. He's going to walk. Khaleke Hudson, he's an inside linebacker. He hasn't done anything. I guess he can walk. Michael Ford, cornerback, 29. He hasn't done anything. He can walk. James Hudson at right tackle. Maybe I can get him as a backup. All right. DeAnthony Bell, safety at 28. I haven't seen him do anything. He can walk. And James Houston, outside linebacker, 26. Haven't seen him do anything. And maybe he can walk. So when you're looking at your free agent class here, I mean, there's only maybe one or two guys that you would even want to consider bringing back. Jameis Winston being one, Nick Chubb possibly being the other, for sure. But Jameis Winston, you definitely, in all honesty, out of any of these guys, to be 100% honest, you need to bring Jameis Winston back. You need to get him on a 3-year deal. Like, you seriously need to get him on a 3-year deal. And I'm going to say something that you guys probably don't want to hear, but in all honesty, I would go ahead and I would trade Myles Garrett. I would trade Myles Garrett. I know you don't want to hear it, but I would trade Myles Garrett, because in all honesty, I mean, look at what you need. You're definitely going to need a new left guard. You're definitely going to need a new right guard, right? You're going to need, if Dawand Jones, you start him at left tackle now, you get his reps in now, you keep him there. Jedrick Wills, you played your last game in Cleveland. As far as I'm concerned, you made the business decision to never play in Cleveland again with that. So Dawand Jones, the left tackle position, is yours to keep. And you get him those reps now. You get him those reps in training camp, in the off-season programs, everything. You get him ready to be the starting left tackle. So you're going to need a backup for him. You're definitely going to, I think Joe Bitonio, I think this might be his last year. Last year should have been his last year. But you need a replacement for him. You're going to need a backup for Posick, who's eventually going to take his place. Wyatt Teller, he is literally on his last legs too. You need to replace him. You need to get a new guard for him. Jack Conklin, you're going to need, I mean, Dawand Jones was supposed to be his backup / heir apparent, but now you're going to need him at left tackle. So you're definitely going to need an heir apparent at right tackle for Jack Conklin. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten hurt yet. This is normally around the time that he's gone for the season. Njoku, of course, you keep. Jordan Atkins and Jeff Swain. I mean, come on. You're going to need backups for that. Of course, you keep Jameis Winston. You've got DTR. You're going to need a third quarterback. Unless you think DTR can hold down the fort, which he hasn't shown any promise whatsoever outside of his ability to improvise and run. But his downfield throwing ability is just in the toilet. Let's just be honest. This kid is not, he's not the one. He is a perpetual third stringer. this running back room, you definitely have to remake it. Jerome Ford and Pierre Strong. Look, Jerome Ford, in all honesty, he's a third string running back. He is good for out of the backfield, some shotgun runs in between the guards and tackles, but he's not an I formation Nick Chubb type of I need 3 yards in the cloud of dust type of back. Neither is Pierre Strong or Deontay Foreman. You're going to have to replace Nick Chubb. And the biggest flub that I felt that they made in the offseason was not picking up the phone or even making the trade for it. But then again, it was probably too late in the season. No, actually, it was still early in the season. But you should have picked up the phone and called Tennessee and made a trade for Derrick Henry, or immediately as soon as the offseason began, where you were able to deal with free agency. You should have called you should have called Derrick Henry, knowing that you had a problem with Nick Chubb, knowing that he was not going to come back this year completely healthy. You should have called him. Should have called him, because one of the main reasons why you have Jameis Winston throwing for 400 and 500 yards and whatnot is because you don't have a running game whatsoever. Jerome Ford is giving you nothing. Nick Chubb is giving you nothing. Deontay Foreman is giving you nothing. None of these guys are giving you anything. So if you had Derrick Henry in there, then you could at least go ahead and start running some type of power offense. You can have a power running game where you're not leaning on the arm of Jameis Winston to win games. Wasn't that the whole point of bringing Nick Harris back? Like, you did this to yourself. That was a huge mistake. Elijah Moore is not a starting wide receiver. He's a good slot, but he's not a starting wide receiver. This whole situation, Cedric Tillman has shown that he could play. Jerry Jeudy, his career has revived. For some reason, Jameis Winston got him out there looking like Jerry Rice Jr., making all these catches and whatnot. I mean, Jerry Jeudy has been going off ever since Jameis Winston took over the starting role, which is beautiful since you gave him that money. You proved us wrong. Jerry Jeudy and I can't believe I forgot our GM's name. Andrew Berry. Jerry Jeudy and Andrew Berry proved us wrong. All right, they proved us wrong. They're making Denver look bad. I mean, and he went off. He should have had 2 touchdowns. He should have went over almost 300 yards receiving. If only Jameson's were just a little bit more accurate. At any rate. So at least you know you have a stud there in Jerry Jeudy. Either that or he's having a freakishly good year. Either way, Jerry Jeudy has appeared to be very dependable, and Elijah Moore in the slot has shown that he can be sneaky good when getting open, but you can always improve on this slot position. Cedric Tillman, yes, he's showing that he can play. Now that we have a quarterback that's not afraid to throw these guys the ball, they're showing that they're NFL talents. But Jamari Thrash, I guess he's good in this little backup role that he's in, but you're going to need more wide receivers. You need to upgrade that position. I don't know how you're going to do it. But when it comes to this defensive line going into next year, like I said, you need to swallow. You need to bite the bullet. You have to swallow it, and you're going to have to trade Myles Garrett. And he's not the only one you're going to have to trade. Trade Myles Garrett. You try to get, I would say, if you were to trade Myles Garrett, trade him to a team that doesn't need their draft picks like that. They're not desperate, but they feel that Myles Garrett will put them over the hump, like maybe the Lions. All right. You don't want him in the AFC. Trade him to the NFC. Trade him to like the Lions or the Falcons or something like that. Send him there. Because you don't want to be, if you're going to lose to Myles Garrett, Lose to him in the Super Bowl, not in the playoffs. So you send him to the Falcons or the Lions, something like that, and get their first 3 draft picks. Get a first, second, third, maybe even a fifth. Get what you can out of them for this draft, because you're going to have to rebuild your offensive line and your running game. You're not going to have the money to sign free agents. You're going to have to do this through the draft. You're going to have to rebuild this team through the draft, unfortunately. Good Lord. Where is everything? That is interesting. All right. So, yeah, you're going to have to do that. That's the only way you're going to be able to get this where you need it to be. Yeah, you're going to have to do it through the draft. So let Myles Garrett go for at least 3 to 4 draft picks in this draft from a team that doesn't necessarily need their first, second, or third round picks. Like I said, the Lions, possibly the Falcons, a team that's stupid enough or feels that he'll be the missing piece to get them into the Super Bowl in the NFC. Let's see. Dalvin's not going anywhere. Shelby's not going anywhere. Okoronkwo. I mean, these guys, they're on their contracts. They're pretty much stuck. You're going to have to keep these guys who are already here. You're going to have to keep these guys. All right. Like they said, Devin Bush is a free agent, but he's a backup. So you keep Diabate. Jordan Hicks is stuck here, as is Nathaniel Watson. When it comes to your cornerback position, this is where tough calls are going to have to be made. Martin Emerson Jr., I noticed this last year, like the Steelers game. He cost us the Steelers game. The one where Watson threw the interception or whatnot. But Martin Emerson, I noticed something last year when our defense was hellacious. This guy could not tackle in the open field. He sucks in open field tackling. He also sucks in coverage. Why do you think he only had like, what, 1 or 2 interceptions? I mean, Denzel Ward's getting 2 interceptions in one game. Martin Emerson's doing nothing out there. I mean, he's got some excellent dance moves. Him and Denzel and Greg Newsome. I mean, these guys can, they can solid gold and all this stuff. They're good at that. But Martin Emerson sucks. You're going to have to trade him. You're going to have to trade him. If you can get a second or a third round pick for him this year, well, come this upcoming draft, do it. Denzel Ward is a concussion away from retiring. I hate to tell y'all this. As great as he is, he's a concussion or 2 away from retiring. And he's very concussion prone. You're going to have to get rid of him. If you can get a first round pick or a second and a third, do it. If you can get a first round for Denzel, do it. If you can get 2 draft picks, a second and a third for Denzel, do it. But it's time to move on from Denzel Ward. I know y'all don't want to hear that, but you got to move on from Denzel Ward. You have to rebuild this team. You don't have the salary cap space to keep these guys. So trade Emerson, Ward, and definitely Greg Newsome. You can probably get like a 4th or a 5th for him. Get rid of this guy. Get rid of this guy. Get rid of this guy. The only one I would keep as far as a starter when it comes to the secondary is definitely Grant Delpit. I think he's just having a down year right now. Okay. But I'm definitely keeping Grant Delpit. He has definitely shown that he can play. He's not injury prone. He is coming off that one injury, the groin injury, but that's fine. Juan Thornhill, you can trade him too. Get rid of him too. Try to get what you can for him, a third, a fourth, something. You need to rebuild your secondary. The only one I would keep and build around is Grant Delpit. I mean, of course, you've got Rodney McLeod is going to be gone because he's going to retire. Anthony Bell, you can let him go in free agency. Ronnie Hickman is still developing. Cameron Mitchell has proven to be, in all honesty, a better slot guy than Greg Newsome, but I guess seniority's got him starting. Mike Ford and this Anusilum guy, you let them battle it out in training camp with the rookies that you should bring in behind them, especially at free safety. Your kicking situation, Dustin Hopkins. I mean, I don't even know what to say. What are you doing? Did you get comfortable? Bring in some competition. Bring in some competition. Flat out. Flat out. Ooh. Let's take a look at the draft. Let's take a look at the draft, because when you really look at it, okay, I'll say what happened here. Let's see, all teams, all positions, all rounds. Let's go round one. Let's see. So as far as trading some of these guys out, I would be looking at, this is where I will be the teams I would definitely be looking to make trades with. Detroit, Philadelphia, Minnesota, Washington, Green Bay, and Arizona, and Atlanta, and possibly San Francisco. But I would be looking down here in the bottom. Let's see here. When you're looking at, let's see, team spending. Let's go team spending. All right. So who's got out of these guys, who's got the most cap space? Okay. So yeah, Arizona, they've got the most cap space, as does Washington. Matter of fact, even Chicago. I would even be talking to Chicago because they feel that they're complete. I can see Myles Garrett possibly going to Chicago or Arizona, maybe even Washington. But you need to get these guys. You need to get into their picks. As you can see, Arizona has the most selections with 12. Let's see. Hold on. Let me see. Yeah, they've got the most selections with 12. So I would definitely be looking to grab their draft picks and eat up their cap space. Even Washington, Green Bay, as you can see, Chicago, they've only got 5, but Green Bay has got 11 picks. They've got 12 million to spend. You would see where they definitely need the money. Well, need the players. Let's see. You've got the Rams. You can even go for the Rams. They've got 10 picks and $11 million to play with. Atlanta's got 8 picks and 11 million. Let's see here. Philadelphia's got 10 million to play with 9 picks. Minnesota, 10 million with 7 picks. Yeah. I would definitely be looking up in these areas to see where they are desperate at, especially concerning your secondary. Well, their secondary, their defensive line, and see what you can get out of them. Now, let's see. Let's take a look at Arizona. Let's see where they look at on their cornerback area. Yeah, they're going to have to redo their secondary. They've got 3 unrestricted free agents coming up. Yeah, you're going to have to make Let's see where they at the defensive end. Yeah, I mean, you have to. Ooh, you're gonna have to do something. You're gonna have to do something. You need to rebuild your team. You're gonna have to rebuild your team. You are in trouble. You're in trouble. You're in trouble. You have to clean all this up. You're gonna have to clean all this up. Unfortunately. Now it's gonna hurt. Understand, it's gonna hurt. It is going to hurt like an SOB. It's gonna hurt like an SOB. But you're gonna have to do something in order to clean up your whole team. I mean, look at your. Let's say, okay, like you want to do something concerning your quarterback position. Hold on. So there we go. Let's see here. Let's go. Okay. Let's say you know you need to get your free agent quarterback, and the cheapest free agent quarterback you're going to get, that might be able to actually at least keep you in games. Oh Lord. Bring back Josh Dobbs for $2.2 million? No, of course not. Oh my God, none of these guys. I mean, I thought about Mac Jones. at $3.8 million, but if you're going to give Mac Jones that, you might as well go ahead and give Jameis Winston that 3-year contract at $4 million. I mean, he's 30. You're not going to bring back Flacco at 40 years old. All right. Maybe you bring in a Justin Fields, but apparently, I mean, if you're getting benched for Russell Wilson after, being 4-1, clearly something's wrong with you. So that's a no. And probably the most expensive one that you probably be better off if you're not going to bring back Jameis is Sam Darnold, but that's $10 million a year. You're not going to have the money for that. You're not going to have the money for that. Running backs, who are we looking at here at the running back position? I mean, you can get a running back pretty cheap. I mean, Aaron Jones will be 30. You don't want to take a chance with that. Najee Harris, maybe at 26. But the Steelers are going to re-sign him. I mean, that kid is having a good year, really good year. I know because I have him on my fantasy team. Let's see here. No, he's already here. By Edwards-Helaire, the Chiefs are probably going to re-sign him. J.K. Dobbins, you can forget that. That he looks every bit of. He may be 25, but he looks 35 out there for the Chargers. Deontay Johnson, do you really want to bring him back at 30, 29 years old? Good Lord. I mean, this free agent class just looks like trash. It just looks like trash as far as running backs go. And what about wide receiver? What are you looking at wide receiver? You're definitely not going to be paying $22.5 for Stephon Diggs or $21.8 for T. Higgins. You're definitely not going to be giving Keenan Allen $20 million or Amari Cooper. You forget that. Chris Godwin. I mean, let's see. Let's go on the low end. Let's go on the low end. Guys who will help fill out the back, the back channel. Maybe a Tylan Wallace. He's at Baltimore. He's proven that he can play. He's a good, backup wide receiver. Let's see who else is also a good backup wide receiver. I'm looking. I don't see anybody Maybe no, not Trent Sherfield. Elijah Moore. Did you bring him back? I don't think so. Um, Jesus, nobody really. I don't see anybody. Oh my God, this is why I say you need to build through the draft. Ooh, goodness. Robert Woods is 32. No. Marquise Brown will be 28. No. DeAndre Hopkins will be 33. No. At 13 million, no. You're getting too high. I mean, you're gonna need guys to get. You have to get these guys on the cheap. Let's go. Let's see. Let's look at guard, which will be definitely definitely where you need it at. On the let's see, let's go at least under 3 million. So you got Bredesen. You know what? I'm not even gonna mess with these guards. Go through the draft. Go through the draft. Go through the draft. All of this, you have to go. You're gonna have to go through the draft. You can forget it. Go through the draft. Let's see here. So far, it looks like Jacksonville will have the number 1 pick. Then the Giants, then the Titans, then us. If you can get, like I said, you can get Detroit, Philadelphia, Minnesota, or Washington, Green Bay, or Arizona, or Atlanta. Those should be the teams that you target, because Atlanta, they already have their quarterback. They can probably get a wide receiver in the draft. They've got 8 million. Well, actually, they've got more than that. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see. Contracts, team spending, position spending. Let's see here. Let's look at. All right, yeah, let's look at their caps. No, that's cap rankings. Okay, hold on. Let's go by teams. Okay, so all right, so let's see. The Falcons only have $7 million in cap space. By 2025, they'll have $8 million in cap space. All right, so and they need a wide receiver. They need another wide receiver bad. So they might not cough it up. Let's see. Who else did I say? Arizona Cardinals. They're going to have 105 million in cap space. And they feel very confident in their wide receiver room with Marvin Harrison Jr. And let's see who else is. Marvin Harrison Jr., Michael Wilson. They've got Xavier Weaver, who's a rookie, as is Michael Wilson. So they're developing wide receivers. I would definitely see if I can make some trades with them. Especially at their cornerback position. All right, get rid of some of these guys. Get rid of some of these guys. Here's their dead cap. They'll be just fine. They'll definitely. Yeah, I would definitely look to make some trades with the Cardinals. Who else did I say here? Let's see. The Panthers. I'm pretty sure they're tired of being fleeced. Let's see here. Lions. The Lions are going to have 66 million in cap space. I would definitely look at trying to make some deals with, like I said, yeah, with the Lions. See, Hutchinson, he'll be back. Zadarius Smith is already there, but he's going to be a free agent. Let's see, Pascal Davenport, Nate Lynn. I mean, these are bottom of tier guys, so I'm pretty sure they'd be happy to give us their draft picks for Myles Garrett. They have the space. Let's see, the Packers, they'll have the space. They'll definitely have the space at $65 million. Let's see here. Where do they sit? Safety, they're probably good. Let's see how they look. And the defensive end position. Oh yeah, they'll definitely be happy to have like a Myles Garrett, because the only player it looks like they'll have next year is Colby Wooden, who's 25 and only making $1.2 million. Let's see, Preston Smith, he's 33. You can kiss that goodbye. They would definitely be happy to give up Myles Garrett for some draft picks. All right, let's see who else here. Let's see, Minnesota. Yeah, I did bring up Minnesota. They'll have $78 million in cap space. I mean, good Lord. Where are they looking as far as corner? They look pretty set at corner. Maybe Stephon Gilmore will get out of here. He's 35. You can see him being replaced. And let's see, who else did I say? The Eagles. The Eagles will have $35 million in cap space. I mean, I'm not going to go through all of that, but as you can see, the Eagles will have the cap space. Let's see, the Commanders. Look, they'll have $103 million in cap space. $103 million. Will be minus $47 million. Minus $47 million. Good Lord. Look at all this dead cap space that we'll have. Who's the highest? Of course, it's Watson. Yeah, Ward, Garrett. Oh, good Lord. A lot of these guys got to go. I'm serious. We're going to have to start all over. We're going to have to start all over. And I know people don't want to hear that, but what else are you going to do? What else are you going to do? This whole situation, this Deshaun Watson situation, has hamstrung us. It's hamstrung us. We're stuck. Look, you can void this. Was it 2024? You got 2 more years stuck with him because you pushed this back. If you notice, they've been pushing the salary back until now. You actually have to start paying him now. So look at this. He's going to count $72 million against the cap if we keep him for the next 2 years. And look at this dead cap space. 172 and 99 and then 26. You're going to have to string these out. You're going to have to add 3 more years to his contract and then cut him in order to stretch all this dead cap out. So that way it doesn't kill you. So it doesn't kill you. Other than that, it's going to kill you. $230 million guaranteed. Damn near $45 million signing bonus. And the only thing that'll get you out of this, as it say, language exists that will not forfeit signing bonus or void future guarantees upon suspension. This is crazy. This is crazy. This team is stuck. I mean, we're not back to the salad eating days of 2016, 2017. We're not there, but we're definitely, come next year, we're definitely going to be back in the 2019, 2018, maybe 2019, possibly, but 2018, we're definitely going to be there. We're definitely going to be there. We're screwed. We're screwed. You're going to have to start over through the draft. Like I said, the only way you're going to do that, you're going to have to trade. You're going to have to trade players. And you're going to have to trade players for draft picks. You got to rebuild through the draft all over again. You got to do it all over again. We're dead. We're dead in the water. Dead in the water. Look at this. One first round pick, one second round pick, 2/3, a fourth, a fifth, 1, 2, 3, 4 6 round picks, and 1 7th. This is more than likely where you keep these, but you're going to have to get up into you're definitely going to need to get into the first round one more time. And then you're going to have to get into the second round at least 2 more times. You're going to need at least 3 second round picks. You're going to need 2 firsts, 3 seconds, 3 second round picks, 4 third round picks, and maybe 2 fourths, another fourth, maybe another fifth. Try to keep these. Maybe try to package some of these 6 round picks up. Maybe package all of them to get up into the fourth. You're the 4th and the 5th. This 7th round pick, get you a kicker. I don't know. Do something. Pick a quarterback. Do something. Do something. Do something. Or else you're dead in the water. You're dead in the water. All right. That's all I got for you. That's all I got for you. But yeah, that as the window is closed. It closed. It closed. The Deshaun Watson contract closed the window. And as much as people say, and even I say that maybe we should have kept Baker Mayfield, my whole thing is that the only reason why Baker Mayfield is having the success that he's having right now is because he was humbled. He was humbled. He had to learn humility. And now that he has it, Tampa Bay is doing just fine with him. He's still turning the ball over, but, he's not. I mean, he's downfield throwing blocks.
I'm not Captain Saberhole. No, really no. I'm not Captain Saberhole. Yeah, no. Look, I'm not like this in the slightest. I'm attracted to intelligent chicks that think righteous.